Hey there, I'm Lindsay Dreyer, the Joyfulpreneur. Welcome to the Work-Life Juggle, the podcast for working moms where we talk about relationships, running a business, parenting, and self-care. Let's live your best life, ladies, and make some space for joy. Hey, welcome to a solo episode. We're just going to chat one-on-one today. Super exciting about the mental load we carry with vacations. So I don't know about you, but we had lined up a pretty travel heavy summer with our family. We have a vintage GMC RV from 1978, and we have named him Walter. He's like a giant version of the Scooby-Doo van, and he is the best shuttle for my husband and my three kids. So I have three kids. Obviously, I just said that, and they are 2, 5, and 8. So traveling with them is definitely a production, to say the least. We just got back from 2 week-long trips, and I am starting to just realize that vacations are a really good way to explain, and it's a good lens to look at the mental load that people carry and division of labor and invisible labor. It's like this little microcosm that everyone can wrap their head around. So I wanted to dive in to the mental load and vacations. I personally don't really call trips with my kids vacations anymore. They're family trips because they're not relaxing. And if I'm setting the expectation that I'm getting a ton of relaxation, then I'm just going to be mad. So now they're family trips or family adventures. But for the sake of this podcast, I'm calling it vacations. So first I want to go down to the nitty-gritty of what exactly is the mental load. So the mental load is the invisible checklist that is always running through our brains on the day to day. It's all the things that we're just noticing and keeping track of. And it can be as simple as seeing what groceries are running low, or diapers are running low. Is there something coming up regarding the schedule, the family calendar? There's just a lot that people are keeping track of in their brains. Then we also have the invisible labor, which is all of the things that just magically get done and no one actually notices or gives gratitude for it, which is a bummer. But we never run out of toothpaste. We never run out of toilet paper. We never run out of paper towels. We always have clean clothes to wear. So these are the things that people don't really pay attention to that just get magically done in your household. Typically, families or households, they have their routines, their way that they operate on their day-to-day in their homes. Vacations are taking you out of that day-to-day and that norm. So when you're going on vacation, it's almost like this compacted version of the mental load and the invisible labor, because you are just like cramming it all in to like be able to go on your vacation. So there's 2 areas that you are probably going to be prepping and working on. You're going to be prepping at work to go on this vacation, and then you're also prepping at home to go on this vacation. So let's attack prepping at work first. Obviously, we all know that if you are working, whether you're a working parent or you own your own company, preparing to leave the office or not to be available is a chore in and of itself. You're either front loading all the work before you leave, or you're saving the work until you get back. Everyone always talks about the cost of taking a vacation at work, and it's real. It is not disputable. Then there is also your work-related things that are happening while you're on vacation. So are you responding to emails? Are you checking in once or twice a day with your team? And I had 1 week when we were RVing where I was trying to go off grid. And then I had another week that was kind of more like a working vacation. And so having that expectation with your team is really important. because you're going to have a different enjoyment level of your vacation if you aren't available or if you are available. So just all of that stuff is involved with preparing to go on a vacation with your work life. Then we dive into your home life, which is like a whole other animal. And when you are preparing for a vacation, you know that prep starts way before you're actually going on this vacation. So the most recent trip we just went on, I was booking campsites and farm camp in January, which is bananas. And we went there in August. So this is not just going on and booking it. I was researching hours and hours and hours and hours of campsites, where the best ones are, do they have availability for the weeks. I had a whole calendar that was color coded, and it is a thing. Like, that took hours and hours of effort and planning to make sure that our summer had the right mix of vacations. Once those are all booked, I'm tired even just thinking about it. Then we are preparing to leave. And since we're using an RV, good old Walter, we love Walter, our RV, he's the best. We had to make sure that he was ready. So my husband typically is in charge of like the mechanics of Walter. And then I'm in charge of the interior, making sure we're stocked, making sure we have like the bedding and all that good stuff. And then there's the shopping. So grocery shopping, replenishing bug spray and sunscreen, all the things. And then there is the packing of the actual things we need, like our clothing and our toiletries and technology and all that. And then once you're on the vacation, we have the feeding of the children, the feeding of ourselves, making sure we have a schedule, making sure we have the activities. There's more packing involved for if we're going on trips, day trips, hiking, swimming, all the things. And then it's also, when you're on vacation, your kids' sleep routines are so messed up. So you're also dealing with that. So it's really this compacted thing that becomes so stressful because you're out of your norm, you're out of your routine. And so what I was realizing while I'm on these trips is like, okay, whoa, Andrew, my husband, and I actually do a fairly good job of dividing the mental load and the invisible labor and the household management and the childcare tasks and everything in our daily routine. But what I felt like with the RV stuff was that it just like gets all off kilter, and it's not either one of our faults. It's just that vacation is not something that you necessarily plan for. It is a outside of your normal routine thing. So I found myself asking, hey, feeling kind of overwhelmed. The mental load's getting to me. Can you take on these tasks? And he was absolutely willing to do so. And we actually have a really good division of labor generally in our household. But this was just extra because of our vacation. So we were dealing with a situation where we're outside of our norm. So we had to communicate about it. So if you're feeling overwhelmed about the mental load of vacations, I don't think you should not take the vacation, because you build amazing memories. Like, we had some really funny stuff with my daughter, and we had our great like campfires, making s'mores and swimming in the ocean. My kids got to go to farm camp and work with animals. And so all of those amazing memories, like they're 100% worth all of the mental load of a vacation and the work put into it. But there are a few things you can do to make this easier and streamlined. One of the things I realized is that you need to be proactive about downtime for each caregiver. So if you can carve out an hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever makes sense for you and your partner, you pre-plan your downtime so that it's fair and equal, not each person gets some space to themselves. The other thing is, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, is that you're going to have to reorganize, or we call it redeal in fair play speak, the accountabilities or the tasks for the vacation specifically. So maybe I'm typically in charge of laundry at home, but my husband is going to be in charge of packing the kids' clothes and doing the laundry for the trip. That's one example of a redeal. The other piece is just be sure to communicate. So if you're noticing you're feeling resentment or you notice things are feeling unfair, communicate it in a healthy way. This is information. Your feelings are information that something isn't feeling right. So you can go to your partner and just say, hey, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and here's what I'm thinking. Or, hey, I'm just feeling super overstimulated right now. I need to take a walk for 15 minutes alone. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself and communicating your needs, because you have to take extra care of yourself when you're on vacation because you want to be at your best. And lastly, I think that you just need to try to have fun. Like vacations, especially with kids, they are a grind and they can be so fun and so wonderful, but you're just dealing with humans. And for us, I mean, we're in a 26-foot metal tube with our kids. And so it's a lot. Everyone's in each other's space. And so we had to really be super mindful about when we needed space as the adults and when our kids needed space as the kids. And you have to just protect everyone's space. So hopefully this helped kind of break down the mental load, especially when it revolves around vacations. To recap, we have all of the prep that goes into your work to leave, all of the prep that goes into your vacation planning on the home front, and also a few tips that I learned on our trips this summer and what you can do about hopefully lightening the load a bit so you can enjoy your vacation. I have a question for you. Would you like to stop fighting about the dishes, the laundry, and everything else household related? Well then, ladies, I got something for you. I have my mini course, and it is called Creatively, I Know, How to Stop Fighting About the Dishes. Also, did I mention that it is free? Check the show notes for the link, and hopefully it will help you stop fighting about the dishes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Work Life Juggle. Your support means the world to me. So if you loved this episode, share it on social and tag me on Instagram at the.joyfulpreneur. I will choose one lucky winner per quarter to get a free one-on-one 1-hour coaching session with me where we can talk about fair play or your business. Until next time, stay joyful.